Speaker is V. Debruyn-Smith. Did I say that correct? I hope. Welcome. Did I get your name right?
Vivian Debruyn-Smith.
Debruyn-Smith.
Yep. Can I use this mic?
Yep, that would be fine. Whenever you're ready, please.
Hi, thank you for giving me. I'll keep it short, and everyone's been here a long time. My name is Vivian Debruyn-Smith, and I'm a local realtor. I work at Judy Marcel's Real Estate. I live in the Westdale Princess Point area, and one of the areas of my specialty is the west end of the city. We deal with a lot of people coming in primarily for the hospital and the university system. And what we're finding is now that we have the internet and that more and more people who are thinking about coming into our neighborhood, they can access the data, the stats on the schools. That is one of the key things that they're looking at. So the fact that Prince Philip has such their exemplary statistics is very, very beneficial, and it's certainly a very key marker for people looking to where they're going to reside. The other thing too is that because of where the school is located, there is a lot of pressure from student rental in the immediate area around the university. But what we find is the further out you go, the less of that student rental pressure that you find. The type of housing, I don't know if you're familiar with the type of housing, but it tends to be smaller, 1940s, 1950s type. They're small little homes, so they're actually quite affordable, so that people who want to be close to Mac, people who are either working there or want their children to be close, typically these are new immigrants, and they're people who are coming outside of Hamilton. So we are drawing in new families, and the fact that that's very affordable is certainly a draw. And I think if you look at that community, and most people looking to move into a community, you're looking at what the community offers. We have a lovely new Loblaws, which is great because you've got shopping. You've got really nice churches in the neighborhood. You've got a beautiful park. You do have that proximity to the escarpment that you see. You've got great access to the rail trail, and you've got a wonderful school, which by all accounts, I think if anything, you shouldn't be shutting it down, you should be using it as a prototype, but that's sort of an aside. If you were to take that school out of that community, you've basically sounded the death knell. I mean, who is going to want to move? Which young family is going to want to move into a community if they have a choice, and families do have a choice, if there's no school? Walkability is a huge issue. We're finding young families, young professionals, young immigrants, new immigrants to our community. That is very much a very desirable factor. It's a very safe neighborhood. The kids are not having to cross any major highways, and certainly it's high on the affordability, as I say. And I think that to shut the school down would be basically a self-fulfilling prophecy, and your numbers would decline significantly. To keep it open, I know from personal experience that a lot of the smaller schools will attract families who are thinking of homeschooling. If you take that option away, you probably would find that people who might prefer to homeschool rather than send them to a place where they're going to be bused. And certainly, as I say, for new immigrants, it is a key variable, because they want to be in a strong, safe neighborhood where the school system is considered to be the highest quality. The other, just like a little sort of vignette that I would offer, is that I have received communication from someone who is in the Toronto area, whose wife, he is sort of Scottish extraction, born here Canadian. His wife is of Chinese extraction, and they are looking, they asked me to look for housing in the Prince Philip area directly because of the Mandarin program. And that would be someone coming in from outside the Hamilton School Board. So this would be, potentially more funding. So as I say, if anything, I think you should use the school as a prototype. And I think the idea of shutting it down is very undone.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we have any questions for clarification. I have two. Student Trustee Shen, and then Trustee Turkstrand.
Through the chair, thank you very much for your presentation. I was just wondering, McMaster is definitely a university that's growing very quickly. If students don't increase in density in the area, where would they go? Where would they go to find living as there's more and more students in the area?
That's a very far-reaching question. We remain optimistic that the city and the school board may make some progress on where the new medical center will be located. I think having that downtown will certainly open up a lot of possibilities for Hamilton. We have tremendous housing stock, and it would be fabulous, I think, for the community at large to have for the community at large. What we find is a lot of parents want their university students to be close to Mac because they think it's a safe neighborhood. If we could have that sense throughout the greater Hamilton area, I think that Hamilton would be enriched by it, as would our students, and we could get back a lot of the families into the neighborhood, and it would happen at a sort of an organic level, which I think would be very healthy.
Thank you. Trustee Terkstra?
Thank you. I'm just wondering about your recent experience about people selling their homes and converting it into student housing. Has that been happening rapidly, less, or what's your feeling about the neighborhood itself?
Well, it's been happening a lot, fairly sort of consistently. It's not really rapid. It's certainly in large part due to the interest rates being as low as they are, and the fact that there's so much pressure. Again, it has to do with funding. The university gets funded on undergrad enrollment, and so as that increases, the pressure increases on our immediate neighborhood. If, again, the city could put some effort into coming up with some ideas for decent student living, because a lot of these houses are not, they're subpar really, which is a shame. But I think that's a whole other sort of discussion. I'm happy to have it with you later.
Thank you.
And then I have student trustee Janice next.
Through Mr. Chair, I was wondering how it's looking, perhaps this was already answered, so I'm looking for clarification. Would you say that the need for student housing is higher, or the need for young families in the Westdale area, like through your experience?
Well, it's interesting because we just had that fiasco that happened in London over the weekend.
Exactly.
And if you were to think about balance in the community, one of the reasons that the president of Fanshawe cited is that that student community, which sounds like a student ghetto, has gone completely out of whack. And so when you don't have that balance that the families bring to the neighborhood, that's when things can get out of control very quickly. So again, I don't think it's, I'm not trying to sound sort of fatalistic or sort of apocalyptic or anything, but I think it would certainly be healthier for the community at large if Prince Philip were to stay open.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking for a motion to receive?